Topic two, we're going to look at subtracting whole numbers, but this time we are going to borrow. So let's talk about what that means. So for our definition, we have regrouping, also known as borrowing, is a technique used when the subtrahend is larger than the minuend in any given place value. So when you line these numbers up vertically, if in any column the top number is less than the bottom number, that's subtraction that we can't technically do. We would need to do this borrowing, okay? So borrowing is just a way of kind of regrouping numbers. Okay. Not the hardest thing in the world that you're ever going to see, but you do need to practice this. Okay. Remember, there's a time and a place for a calculator, but there's also a time and a place where you don't want a calculator. And I will for sure assess you on whether or not you know how to subtract by hand. So, yes, the calculator is great, but you still need to know how to do this stuff by hand. Okay. So, let's look at example two. It says find each difference. That means subtract. And we're going to look at part one. So, I have 115 minus 86. Well, right off the bat, I see that 5 minus 6 is something I can't do because 5 is smaller than 6. We would need to borrow. So what you do is you go one digit to the left of 5, which is a 1. We subtract 1 from that, making this a 0. And that 1 that we borrow is really like a 10, so it's kind of like 10 plus 5. Well, 10 plus 5 is 15, so we just put a 1 in front of the 5 or think of it as the 10 plus 5. Either way, we now have 15 minus 6, which is something that we can do. So 15 minus 6 is 9. And then I need to go 0 minus 8. Well, I can't do that. So it kind of depends on the way your brain works. Some people automatically see this right here as a 10. So they could say, okay, 10 minus 8 is 2. That's great. If you don't really see that, you can still do the borrowing. So I need to take 8 from 0, which is something that I can't do. So I would need to borrow. I go one digit to the left of 0, which is a 1. I borrow, making it a 0. That 1 that I borrow becomes like a 10. And now 10 minus 8 is 2. So either way you slice it, you end up getting 10 minus 8, which is 2. So let's check our work. Remember in the previous video, we found out that if we take the subtrahend and add the difference, we should get the minuend. So if we take these two numbers, the subtrahend and the difference, and we add them, we should get the minuend back. So let's try it. So we have 86 plus 29. We add column by column. So 6 plus 9 is 15. I keep a 5. I carry a 1. 8 plus 2 is 10, but don't forget we carried a 1, making that an 11. So everything really does check out, and we can say the result here is very confidently 29. Okay, so let's try it again. So for part two, we have 625. From that, we want to subtract 489. And right off the bat, we can't do the subtraction because 5 is less than 9, so we need to borrow. We go one digit to the left. That 2, we need to subtract 1 from it, so 2 becomes a 1. And then that 1 that we borrowed is really like a 10, so 10 plus 5 is 15. And now 15 minus 9 is something that I can do. So 15 minus 9 is 6. And then I'm stuck with, well, I can't take 8 from 1, so we borrow again. So we go to the 6. 6 becomes a 5, and that 1 we borrowed is kind of like a 10. So it's like 10 plus 1, which is 11. Now 11 minus 8 is 3. And then finally 5 minus 4 is 1. So let's check our work again just to make sure we're good. So we have 489 plus 136. Adding column by column, 9 plus 6 is 15. So I keep a 5, I carry a 1. 8 plus 3 is 11, plus the 1 we carried is 12. So I keep a 2 and then I carry a 1. 4 plus 1 is 5, but don't forget we carried a 1, making that a 6. So everything checks out. So we would say the difference between 625 and 489 is 136. Okay. Now part 3 and 4, they're a little bit different. There's an extra little layer that we've thrown in here. So for part 3, right off the bat, seems like very normal subtraction, and it is. It's just got an extra little thing you have to be careful with. So we have 14,204. And from that, we want to subtract 7,695. Well, again, right off the bat, we need to subtract. I cannot take 5 from 4. The issue is when I go directly to the left of 4, I have a 0, but I can't really borrow from a 0. So in a situation like this, you need to go to the first non-zero digit to the left. Okay, so we need to take 5 from 4. We can't do that. I need to borrow. So you go to the first non-zero digit to the left. So that would be the 2. Well, the 2 becomes a 1, and then the 10 basically that I borrowed gets added to 0. So this 0 becomes a 10. Well, that still doesn't help me because I still need to take 5 from 4, but now I can borrow because I don't have a 0 in front of the 4, I have a 10. So I borrow 1 from the 10, 10 becomes 9, and finally 4 becomes 14. 14 minus 5, I can do that. So 14 minus 5 is 9, and then the next column is 9 minus 9, which is 0. Then I get 1 minus 6. I can't do that, so I need to borrow again. So directly to the left of 1 is a 4, so I borrow. 4 becomes 3, 1 becomes 11. 11 minus 6 is 5. And then I've got 3 minus 7, so you either can think of this as 1 and 3, which is 13 minus 7, or go ahead and do the borrowing. It'll be the same thing either way. So I can't take 7 from 3. I borrow. The 1 becomes a 0. 3 becomes a 13. Either way you slice it, you get 13 minus 7, which is 6. So we get 6,509. And just to make sure we're clear, let's go ahead and check this one. So we want to take 6,509 and we want to add 7,695. Column by column, 5 plus 4 is 14. So I keep a 4, I carry a 1. 9 and 0 is 9, plus the 1 I carried is 10. Keep a 0, carry a 1. 6 and 5 is 11, plus the 1 that I carried is 12. Keep a 2, carry a 1. 6 and 7 is 13, plus the 1 I borrowed is 14. And you can see everything really does check out. So the final result here we can say confidently is 6,509. All right, one more. And this one's going to be kind of a little wacky. All right, so we have 50,000 minus 22,347. Well, we can see right off the bat, we're going to have to do some serious borrowing. So I can't take 7 from 0. I can't borrow from 0. I can't borrow from 0. I can't borrow from 0, but I can borrow from 5. So in a situation like this, we have to go to the first non-zero digit. And in a situation like this, where you've got loads and loads of zeros, you can take a miniature shortcut. We still borrow from the 5, making it a 4. This first 0 becomes a 10. Well, I can borrow from the 10, it becomes a 9. The second 0 becomes a 10. I can borrow from the 10, making it a 9. That third 0 becomes a 10. I can borrow from it, making it a 9. Finally, that last 0 is a 10. So when you have a string of zeros like this, go to the first non-zero digit, borrow 1. All of the internal zeros become 9s, and then that last 0 becomes a 10. You can take that shortcut, or you can just borrow piece by piece, whatever you're most comfortable with. Either way, we're ready to go. So 10 minus 7 is 3. 9 minus 4 is 5. 9 minus 3 is 6. I'm going to go ahead and throw in my comma. 9 minus 2 is 7. And then finally, for the last column, we have 4 minus 2 is 2. So just like with the previous 3 examples, let's go ahead and check this one just to make sure we're good, because borrowing's a little bit weird. So we have 27,653. To that, we want to add 22,347. And our hope is that we get 50,000. That verifies that we're good to go. So 3 plus 7 is 10, so I keep a 0, carry a 1. 5 plus 4 plus 1 is 10. I keep a 0, I carry a 1. 6 plus 3 plus 1 is 10. I keep a 0, I carry a 1. 2 plus 7 plus 1 again is 10. I keep a 0, I carry a 1. And then 2 plus 2 plus 1 is 5. So everything really does check out here. So we would say our final answer here is 27,653. So that is subtraction with borrowing. Make sure you understand how to do this by hand. Again, I will for sure assess you in some way, shape, or form where you have to show me that you can add and subtract without using a calculator. There will be times where the calculator is completely acceptable, but in this case, you need to know how to do this by hand. All right, one more quick question for this video. This example 3 is just a short answer, so it's kind of like a think and discuss, okay? It says, what does the subtraction property of 0 state? Give examples, okay? Well, there's two ways we can think of this. So we haven't officially discussed a subtraction property of 0, but there are properties involving 0 with subtraction. The first is, what if I had something like 8 minus 8 equals 0 versus 8 minus 0 equals 8? Well, this one says any number, I forgot the word number, any number subtracted from itself is 0. You could also word it maybe a little more formally and say the difference of any number in itself is 0. Okay, so anytime you take a number and you subtract that number, you're always going to get a difference of 0. The second one says the difference of any number and 0 is that number. So if you take 0 away from something, it doesn't change anything. So you can subtract 0, nothing happens. And then on the flip side, if you take a number and subtract itself, you get 0. So those are the two ways that 0 works with subtraction. Okay.